All right, it is 1 o'clock, so we are going to get started. So thank you to our panelists for agreeing to join us today and sharing your expertise. Mary Brown was also going to be one of the panelists, but she was up all night with migraine. So unfortunately, she's not able to be here. So we're going to start on time and finish right at 2 o'clock as we have in the past. We're going to ask you questions which you know what they are. And we're going to ask if you can keep your answers to about 30 to 60 seconds if possible. So then it just leaves time for discussion and if we have time at the end for a little Q&A. But we definitely will finish at 2 o'clock, being respectful of everyone's time and especially for our panelists for taking the time to be here. So this session is about listings. So the first question we're going to start with, actually, before we start with the questions, maybe we can just go through everyone, your name, if you're an individual agent or on a team, and how long you've been in the business. Sam, do you want to start?
I'm Sam, individual agent. I have been in the business 2.5 years.
Awesome.
I'm Jerry. I'm on a team of 5. I've been in the business for 39 years.
I'm Travis Mesher, individual agent, been just over a year.
Maureen Ferguson, been in the business close to 6, not quite, and I run a team.
Awesome. Great. So a great variety of times. And Jerry, it's going to be a big celebration next year, 4 years. That's quite a commitment to an industry. First question is, what are some effective strategies or techniques for prospecting and finding potential sellers in today's real estate market? Maybe what we'll do is we'll start with a different person each time, but Sam, if you want to start with this one, and then Jerry for the next question, we'll start with you and so on.
Sure. So I personally have used my past career as a way to get business. So I've kind of relied on word of mouth / wait, what was the question again? Am I getting the right one? I want to make sure I got it right.
What are some effective strategies and techniques for prospecting and finding potential sellers?
Yeah, like I leveraged my previous career, which I still do once a week. I used to do hair. So I kind of use that as a cross-marketing, prospecting past clients. And I've told newer agents and other agents, if you're struggling to get a part-time job, like a part-time job in a service-based business, because then you're talking to people, you're letting people know that you're an agent, and sometimes it cross-markets fairly well.
So to be strategic about that.
Be strategic about where you would get this part-time job, but that would be, if you're not a door knocker or cold caller like myself, that would be something I would highly suggest as a strategy.
Awesome. Jerry.
I go to Sobeys.
Yeah, good strategy.
Sobeys in Fall River, I'm looking for sellers. Sobeys
Yeah.
in Sackville, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah. So do you just, when you go to Sobeys, what's your strategy?
Well, I know quite a few people in that area, so somebody will strike up a conversation with me, and they'll usually have somebody that they know that's looking to sell. And they share that with me.
Amazing. So what time of the day do you go to Sobeys?
I'm not telling you.
Yeah, I live in Fall River too, so.
But very, very tough to me.
Once in the morning, once in the afternoon.
That's
Brilliant.
awesome. That is great.
And that doesn't know where anything is in Sobeys. I know where.
Gateway's good too, because you get stuck in line.
It is,
Yeah.
and free.
Travis.
I do door knock. I don't like it, but I do. I
Interesting.
do push myself to do it. And I do the same when I have a listing as well. Of just letting the neighborhood and the community know that I have a listing. And if I piggyback that with an open house. So do I like it? No. Have I driven by streets before and just driven past and went back almost every time? So yes, there's 19 ways to lead gen. Sometimes I push myself even when I don't like to.
And it works for you.
It works. worked. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, it's also great for recognition, like everybody, if you're gonna be knocking that neighborhood, they're gonna know who Travis is, like they know your face and then they get your postcard. Then it's really good for that. Jerry's been going to Fall River Sobeys for a long time.
Probably has shares in it.
And he sold every house in Fall River, so people know who he is, so that's a great way of doing it.
Yeah, I had 3 people show up. I handed out 27 flyers for an open house on Sunday, and 3 people from the neighborhood showed up, just because of the flyers.
That's
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
That's good. That's a really good.
really
good.
Do you always go around the same neighborhood, like the same streets over and over again?
Depends on where the listing is.
Okay.
So, oh, sorry, I've recently moved and I haven't door knocked my new area yet. But prior to I did, I knocked on 400 doors. Not continuously, but.
That's less doors. Maureen.
So starting out, I was the same as Sam. We're both from the industry of hairdressing. So I kept my business in the background as well, and they were my biggest fans, and they have continued to, and I've given up here, to keep referring me, and it's been huge. If you keep in touch with all those people you thought you didn't like in high school through Facebook and stuff, you did, but well, you didn't think they liked you, you didn't get into their groups, trust me, of the people that come out of the woodwork lately, it's like, wow, really, you even knew who I was. So that's definitely been very good for me. And I'm not a door knocker per se, but I am definitely using the strategy of farming. So I am choosing the area I live in, and I started out smaller because it can be expensive to build into that. But first started out with a secluded group of like magnets, something they can put on their fridge. I've got into the association in my community. I'm volunteering, I'm sponsoring events, I'm there on the ground, face in front of everyone. I have stuff to give out if I'm there, like swag and what have you, just to get me that face time. And I've also expanded now into doing flyers. I'm about 5,000 now in mailing per month. So I'm trying to just, and you have to, if you're going to do it, you gotta be willing to do it. As Jerry's daughter Melissa says, 1 year for sure. Don't even think about what will happen before that. So it is a long-term game, but that's where I'm at in my business now, is trying to solidify. Just like Mr. Fall River up here, I want to be.
Well, our soul cards give us a lot of business. We always do
Soul card when you say.
area.
Yeah,
And somebody said, to me, yeah, I tried that once, and it didn't work. Well, that's not.
That's
how
why.
you do it, and I kept it, do it consistently.
In
Has to be
conjunction with
consistent.
something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just adding value. He sends sold cards out after as well, just to give, you have to give something that's got value to them that makes them interested.
And we went for a listing appointment, our soul card will be on the table.
Yeah.
What's a sold card?
We sell,
Just listed just
Oh,
sold.
but did you get
Postcard.
like, did you get the, authorization from the people that own the house? So this is why I'm asking, because when you
Always,
go out with
yeah.
the, okay, and it's easy, because this is something I wanted to do once, and I feel like,
like you had, it's your
Right.
listing that sold.
You're once someone else takes ownership of it, can you?
That's
no
it.
longer-
Before closing.
Before.
Right, yeah, okay, that's the trick, because I
That's the
wanted to do that one.
Yeah,
time,
so
but
you need to, right, Susan, it has
Yeah,
to.
once it's
Yeah.
firm, and then you.
Before.
I just double check.
Okay.
with my
Yeah,
law-
yeah,
with
yeah.
my boss.
Once it's firm, you can't. Once you get written, close,
Close.
close.
Yeah.
Once it's
But
done,
then close, which, you know,
Yeah.
it's happening lately. Things don't close. Right.
Yes.
A week,
Yeah.
a week later.
Yeah, and you do have to put the date rules. I think it's the
Yeah,
firm.
the
date.
month, the month,
The month
and the year.
on, like June.
Yeah,
June
June
23,
2023.
whatever.
Yeah, I love the idea. of
It really
I wanted to
works.
do it, but I was
Yeah.
too slow. Rules, yeah.
So piggybacking on that, on effective strategies of prospecting and find potential sellers, can you share your approach to building and maintaining the relationships with past clients and referrals as a source of listings? So how do you build on those? How do you nurture those? Jerry, we'll start with
Okay,
you.
We send out quite a few Christmas cards with our calendar in it every year.
Mm.
And we've been doing that. Some of them have them all over their fridge, 20 of them or something.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
Yeah, so that's one of the ways we stay in contact with our people that we've dealt with in the past.
Mhm.
I do 3, 6, 9, 12 month touches. whether it's call, text, email, every holiday, anniversary, birthday, and these are all cards written by me to them.
So you
So-
handwrite a card
And not every card.
for,
Not the touches, the 3, 6, 9,
Okay.
12-month touches are not necessarily cards.
so they're like a text or a phone call or a
Yeah, I like
message.
switch it up depending on what month they're, you know, if they're newer into the home, I usually will call. But so Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthday, home anniversary. I feel like there's more, but my hand gets sore. But I also know that I don't wanna do other types of. Like 3 of my listings this year, I asked why me, and they said. There was no question because your follow-up after we bought with you was so good that. We didn't interview anybody else, we're just gonna go with you because of how you treated us post.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
That you
amazing.
stayed in contact.
Yeah,
So that just in itself.
Awesome, awesome.
Where do you get your cards, if you don't mind me asking?
this
Do you
is-
order them? Okay.
Yeah.
Do they have your name or are they branded?
You can
Your
get
They're
some
usually
brand,
branded,
anything
yeah.
you want.
But when you run out of them,
Never run out. That's the key. Don't run out.
I don't think I've ever, no,
No, you just
like
keep
I
reprinting.
buy bulk, like
Yeah.
Okay.
tons, yeah, like I have. Stack of happy home anniversary. They're just blank, like the front's
Yeah.
pretty, but then I
Yeah.
just write them
Then
back,
write
but
it.
there's a picture of me and Leo and
Okay.
my. And I'm sure there's the Keller Williams, I'm pretty sure they're all the right way you're supposed to do it. It's not advertised, it's just a card, card for them. No, it's just a card to them, it's not advertised.
No, exactly. So,
good recovery. Where's Travis? Your staff gets in trouble,
Right.
Travis.
I'd say the same. I do add in Mother's Day and Father's Day as well. And back to the Christmas thing, it's a handwritten card. Birthday is like just a $5 gift card, copies on me type thing. Yeah, and not random, but check-in phone calls, just to see how they're doing.
Awesome.
I do a thank you when it closes with a lovely closing gift, and then it's keep in touch with them through social media, like avidly, like making sure I am conversing and really, making it about them. And I'll do texts and things like that. Yeah, so that's where I am with it.
Okay. Awesome. Travis, we're gonna start with you for this one. How do you approach the initial conversation that you have with potential sellers to establish trust and to build rapport?
Yeah, I did read these beforehand too.
It's a big,
I know,
help in the
yeah,
moment.
I'm just myself. There's nothing
Yeah.
fake about it. This is what I do. This is what I do for marketing. This is what my plan is. This is what the schedule looks like. So it's,
Authenticity.
you get what you get. It's nothing hidden.
Awesome.
I agree, Travis. It's definitely going and being you, not trying to be something you're not, or to be some kind of superhero for them, because that's not what they're looking for. And you just go in and you listen. It's about them telling you everything at that initial appointment. My initial appointments are always going in, looking at it to give them the CMA. So it's just going in, listening, responding as, and going with confidence, not overconfidence, but going with confidence. You know your stuff, believe in yourself. You believe in yourself, they'll believe in you. And I rarely ever am competing. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I think it's however my attitude is going in, there's just just pick me and that's it. So I'm not bragging, but it's thank you. But yeah, I just think it has to be authenticity mainly.
Mhm. Awesome. Sam,
I mean, I echo what they say for sure. I like to find out the why, like that's the big thing,
Mhm.
why you're
Yeah,
selling
yeah, yeah.
and kind of like nurture the why to. Yeah, the why.
What you're gonna do,
That's
yeah.
usually my goal is to
Yeah,
find
so-
why they truly want to sell. 'Cause sometimes
Yeah.
what they say isn't, and it's ironic because some of you know, I'm debating on selling my house. And now that I'm in
Do you need a
those
realtor?
shoes. heard that one?
It'll be with me though, right?
Not selling. But yeah,
Could never
the
sell
why
now.
is like the biggest thing.
so just picking at that a little bit,
Yeah.
can you give us an example of what that would look like? What would be somebody's why that you would really hone in on?
well, it's so subjective, but literally listening to what they're saying, kind of like what Maureen's saying, it's like sitting down, chatting with them. Hearing like what they've done to the place, what they would like to get for the place, where they're going to be moving to, are they moving, are they already have a place? Just figuring all that out at first helps me with everything that follows.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can I ask
Yeah.
you it? Just because you said that, and you're right, that's exactly it, finding out the why, finding out what they're doing. And then I like to sit and say, okay, so we need to figure out a plan because we don't want you to be homeless or whatever. So they know that I'm investing in them and I want to care about how their end result is going to happen. And then I reassure
On the
them. of
other
course.
side of the end result.
Yeah, exactly. It's one thing to sell your home. How are we gonna work with you to get you to where you want to be with those goals and dreams? And, I'm just invested in that portion. And I find out that part, their end game first to figure out how the rest is gonna unroll.
Cause there's a huge difference if they're being transferred and they have to go, they're going, versus my neighbor last year got 1 million, so
Yeah.
I want 1 million. Even though the
Exactly.
house is twice the size and you learn better.
Totally, whole different conversation, a whole different approach.
Well, in every situation, it can be completely different, right? Sam, you alluded to that as well. The challenges could also be they're going into a care facility, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know when they're gonna get that little golden ticket that says it's your turn.
Yeah.
And everything's gotta be set to go.
Yep.
And if they haven't even started that process, you do need to be involved.
Yeah.
To help them figure all that out.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Jerry.
We have a couple of different approaches that we use. We try to get to know them a little bit before we go too far along. We try to be quiet and let them speak, as they've both said. We usually go to a listing appointment and when we get in there, we tell them what we're about to do and that we do it in a 2-stage process. That we're there to gather data and that we'll be back to see them again. And then they know we have the time to be careful. At the same time, we often have the listing prepared to sign. Some people are no nonsense and we have
Yes.
the comparables underneath as well.
Yeah.
But we find you a lot more success coming back twice, but you have to do it fairly quickly because if you're bringing in a second or third agent,
Right.
you might lose out by doing
Right.
2-stage.
So what would be quickly? So how many days would
2
you
or 3
take?
days.
2 or 3 days. Okay, so not like a week, but 2 or 3
Yeah.
days, pretty quick.
And some say,
turnaround.
I'm in no rush, but they're not telling you the truth, they are in a
Right.
rush.
Why are you there?
Is
Not
why
in a
they
rush.
call.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Yes.
So when Jerry goes and you're getting more information on them, is that in the produce section? Like, is that how you?
That's a fair.
Or does it take you to the bread section by that time? Or-
Yeah.
No,
Cereal aisle.
not really.
Jesus.
Goes right to the meat.
Jerry pulls out a contract.
It is there in the file.
They keep it there.
Some people are like that. They say,
Yep.
just cut to it, but somehow where do I sign?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've
Other
already
people-
made my decision.
Other people want you to do your homework and do a proper
Yeah.
market evaluation. And we explain to them that sometimes agents buy listings too. They think that they're gonna give you a high number. Our number might not be the highest number you're gonna get from agents, but it's gonna be an accurate
Truthful
one.
one. That's what I would say too.
And the market will speak to the number, whatever number we give you.
Mhm. Exactly. All right, in a competitive market, which we know it is, especially for listings. How do you differentiate yourself to potential sellers and persuade them to choose you as their listing agent? So we're gonna start with you, Maureen.
Well, once. I just market myself on social media. They like me or they don't. I don't try and beg anyone for the listing. If I have to work that hard for it, it's probably not the people I want to work with. I want them to know they can trust me because of it speaks for myself. It speaks for itself, what I've done, and I keep that out there. And they've seen my successes. I have people that message me all the time saying, man, I just can't get over how far you've come from being a little old hairdresser to, to where I am now or what have you. And just, there's a difference in my confidence as well. It's back to who I was in a whole different manner. But I don't. Yeah.
The majority of people, when you say like you work with, people want to know, like, and trust you. So when you
Yes.
say, well, you're not even competing, they're like, I know Maureen, I like Maureen, I
Yeah.
want Maureen.
Yeah,
Versus-
and everyone that I've worked with
Yeah.
speaks of highly of me as well, I'm very trustworthy. And I think a big thing for me that people pass on is just very responsive. Like, barely time that phone's not right away. I answer them just like, oh, thank you. I didn't have to stress about it. And that's my promise and my whole shtick is that, I'm gonna make it as stress-free as possible. And that's why, because if you can get your answer and you're not sitting there biting your nails wondering what I'm gonna say or how I'm gonna advise you, they get that. So I think that's a lot of it, and that carries on into my referrals.
I was just gonna say, so your differentiation is that the referrals that you get and the people know you and trust you.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're tried and true, I guess.
that's good. Authenticity, right? It goes back. Sam,
Kind of similar, but I'm definitely newer and I definitely don't have the name behind me.
yeah,
But I think I'm at a level now in my career where I'm getting referrals to go to listing appointments, but I'm sure as hell competing. And they make it known, but I'm competing. And
But you win.
not always.
No?
No, not always. Most of the time, most of the time.
referrals from there too.
But I just treat it as like, okay, I'm in the door.
Yes.
So I'm now getting to practice how I give a listing appointment. They know something positive about me because someone said something good to get me there. And I usually say, look, you're upfront about me competing. Here's two names. I don't know if I'm allowed to. See, I don't know, but I usually say, here's two names of people that I've sold. Give them a call. Just ask them what their experience was.
I think if you have the permission
I
from
do,
those
I do.
people,
I do.
Yeah.
not randomly tell numbers. Having to protect you, as long as you have permission, you're good.
Always follows the rules. He's good.
It's just different when you know you've got the boss right here.
Yeah.
Like, if you went into a job interview,
Yeah,
you're gonna ask.
that's right.
for
Yep.
referrals.
Well, if
That's
they're
exactly
debating on me and another person and they
For
wanna
sure.
know, we can all talk greatly about ourselves, but here's two people that I've recently sold their properties. Just ask them what their
Yeah.
experience was using me and,
That's
you
cool.
know, kind
Yeah.
of using them
I
to
love it. Yeah.
help me.
Build.
Yeah,
And do they actually call or do they just
they
say?
have,
Okay.
some haven't, but some actually have, yeah,
That's great.
yeah, and usually the ones that have, I've got.
That's a good idea. I've never. thought
I
of
never
that, 'cause
thought of that.
Really? I've done.
I see, and then I don't get it, and I beat myself up and call myself.
So there's the
You know,
aha for
I'm
everyone
so
today.
proud of myself when I don't get it,
Yeah.
but I've never
Yeah.
thought to say, oh, well,
No,
just.
it's
call this
fantastic.
And I've had people that have called and I haven't got it too,
Yeah,
but
But there's people that you went and did listing presentations, you didn't get the listing, but they referred you to the friend as a listing agent, which is pretty cool,
that was cool, yeah.
right? So they have a relationship with
Yeah.
the agent, but they still referred you, so it's never a waste of time.
Nope.
yeah.
I-
Even-
Yeah,
Interesting,
don't
so
get
that
the
means
listing
their
the first
experience
time,
with the
maybe it
listing
doesn't
agent
sell,
they
and they'll call
chose.
you.
Exactly, not
Not a
as
business that-
positive what they decided.
That's just what I think.
I'm listing one tomorrow that was somebody that chose somebody else by their fancy website. And
Hey, I get stuff off
You do,
mine.
you gotta pay. I don't have, I got to pay nothing. Anyway, it was a fancy website that she got drawn in and they didn't sell her house. So she called me and said, I know I called you before, but.
That's why that's what you say, if somebody says they're not choosing you, if it doesn't work out,
Yeah.
only list for 60 days and give me a chance after that.
Yeah, there's lots of strategies to use for sure.
Yeah. It's a good way to do it, only list for 60 days. Like.
And buying your sign for a year.
Jerry. Me too. Jerry.
Lock and load, baby.
I just hope to God I sell it.
I think you have to tell the sellers that you're good. Don't be bashful about your ability. If you're fairly new, you talk about the crew that are behind you, that you're belonging to an organization that supports each other. And that I'm not just one person that's gonna try to say, oh, there's 300 of them there that are gonna support me through this. And I think that gives you, a believability, like they believe that
Yeah.
if you're new, you still have all that to go with it. We sell 3,000 homes a year in our office. But for us, it's just, we talk about what we've done in the past and that we are capable and that we'll get the job done. If they want too much money for their house, we say,
Yes.
we'd rather turn you down than let you down.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
yeah.
The other side of that is you can say, well, let's your price for the first 2 weeks in my house.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
do, yeah.
absolutely.
And I'll even say, even if they go with my list price and there isn't the action in that first 2 weeks, I set that up right away that I'll be talking to you in 2 weeks. If we're not getting those viewings, if we're not getting those offers, if we were getting viewings, we need to reevaluate so that we're
That's right.
In the market, not on the market, as they say. That's the big aha I always get from Jean.
Travis.
I'll say three things. So one being confident in yourself, that you can speak and you're knowledgeable. Second one is be prepared to bring the things with you. If someone says, okay, I'm ready to sign, and you don't have anything ready, I'll send you a DocuSign, right?
Yeah.
What everyone says. And the last one is if you don't know something, when somebody asks you something, I'll get back to you. You don't, everyone doesn't know everything about everything, so don't be afraid to say, I'll find out, but I'll get back to you on it. Get back to them on it, but.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to not know something, and that's okay.
And along that same line, check out their neighborhood before you go there, make sure it's not a new listing that they're gonna ask you about.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, I recon neighborhoods before I go to listing appointments.
Yeah.
Every time.
So we've touched on this. What advice can you give on setting realistic expectations for sellers regarding pricing in the current market? And how do you, and then the second part to that is, how do you address unrealistic expectations?
My line that I use sometimes, because people will say, do you think I'm crazy? And I'll say, yes, like, usually I'll say, you might not be out to lunch, but you're out to like breakfast. Like, you're not, yeah, you're not completely out to lunch. but
You got a
you're definitely
reservation
not.
made.
Yeah, you're almost there. But I'm pretty blunt when it comes to the price point. I don't think there's any need to just, what do you call it, buy a listing, so we call it? Sure. I mean, I guess it's good in the sense, like, you get the listing, I get that perspective, but then it's, you don't look like you know what you're doing, right? And I don't want to list something that makes myself look like I don't know what I'm doing. So that's why I kind of, I mean, I know it's about to sell it, but it's our name on the line too, it's our face. It's like, you know, if you list something crazy high that you know it's never gonna sell, that just looks bad. So I explain that though, I'm pretty upfront about that. I have used the whole, like, I'll usually do it depending on the average days on market and average days sold, of like how long, okay, we're gonna have a conversation in 20 days. If nothing's happened in 20 days at that price point, then let's have a conversation then. But even at that price point, it has to be out to breakfast, it can't be out to lunch, like, it can't be like crazy. But yeah, that's usually,
And have you ever had anyone say, no, that's the price we're sticking to it?
oh yeah. But I've lost the listing, then it gets listed for like 8 months and nothing happened. So. I haven't got the call back though. Yet. Hopefully. I haven't got the, like, oh, my listing hasn't sold. We're gonna
So that
go back
means
to
you need to find out a new strategy of what you say when you leave, when you decline that listing. Basically, you're not gonna list it for that, but hey, like what Jerry says.
Yeah.
Give it to someone else for a set amount of time. If that doesn't work, you know, I'd love to be able to chat with you again and reassess market at that point.
That's a good idea, Maureen, because sometimes people feel embarrassed to call you.
That'd be exactly why it'd be like,
They felt really badly that they didn't use you when they should have used you, but now you probably don't want them, so I'm not gonna call you back.
right,
So
then
they'll
they'll go
have
find
someone
someone else that's
So
still
leave the
doesn't know what
door
they're doing.
open.
Yeah,
Setting expectations, that is always open.
yeah.
And there's some people that no matter how hard you bang them with and you say, look, I'll do this for 2 weeks, and then after the 2 weeks, they go, oh, well, let's just try it a little longer, and then.
That's you write a good clause right in there with the date you've agreed to, with the price you've agreed to, and then that's gonna change right in that contract.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, if they'll agree to that.
If
If
they'll-
they'll-
And if they're in that conversation, if
Yes.
they're already in the yes mood.
Yeah,
chances
when they're
are,
in
like,
that,
oh, okay, that's no problem, and they usually amend it from, oh, can we do it for 3 weeks instead of 2? I will give you 3, okay, and then.
Jared.
We rely on the data, you know, it's, most people are half intelligent or quite intelligent. And when you show them that something was listed for $975 and then went to $899 and sold for $850, like their house. Why do they think they can get $1 million? You know, it's just logic.
Yeah.
And that's usually worked for us. I mean, every once in a while, somebody will say, well, you try this, and just like they said, you try it for a short period of time and then go
Yeah.
to your price, not their price. And even that doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah.
The data is usually pretty accurate when you start showing them stuff.
If there is resistance, it's being frank in a nice way of, okay, but you do realize you're going to be in your house for the rest of the summer. Or for the rest of the winter,
That's
if
right.
we, or if nothing changes, because
Right,
we
and
went at your price. You don't want a reduction. Is it your house? Is it your location? Is it the market? Something, let's figure out what that is. You don't want to change, you gotta be prepared. Stay
Yeah.
put. It's a frank, realistic conversation.
and I don't wanna call it luckily, but because our market is doing so much shifting, you know, it's not as normal where we say, you know, we pre-COVID, it was like, your house will probably be on the market, depending on the area, about 3 months or what have you. That was an expectation. And now because COVID, it's like, oh, we're not speed dating anymore. So then realistically letting them know, you know, we are back to pre-COVID. Don't expect what happened last year to happen this year. If it does, yay. You know what I mean? But if not, you know, you gotta set those expectations that Wild West is kind of over, other than a few pockets of, or people trying to underbid everything to make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. There, and you shared this about the methods that you use to ensure that they have realistic expectations, but their timelines. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to that? Just about methods or conversations that you have in setting those expectations?
Comes down to data, like
Yeah.
you said, Jerry, it's presenting what the market's doing.
Yeah, This
the
morning I recommended
competition is-
$7.99 to somebody. They said, can we do $8.29? Yeah, we do that. That's.
Go to breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how bad do you want to destroy yourself?
Well, and it depends, maybe it depends on where you are too, right? The
Yeah.
location. You know, that there is a, so here's a question that I think a lot of people are thinking. Do you give a specific price or do you give a range?
We give a range, but I did start the conversation by telling them, this was 3 years ago, your house is worth 6 and now it's worth 8. Aren't you happy?
And I say this all the time now, Jerry.
Yeah.
You sat there while everyone else did the hard work of fighting for it, and you've increased, you got all this equity in your house without doing a thing. So this is my conversation, and I'll say, so there's one I'm gonna list. They had me come in the other day and I did a CMA, and they were like happy because they didn't realize how much they'd actually gained by sitting there. And I said, and the great thing is, I said, we can start you at this price, but I said, because you know, you've got so much floatability of what your expectation was, that if the market shifts, we'll be able to shift with it and you still won't be disappointed. And if you say it like that, they're like, yeah, you're right. Like, you know, like you were probably expecting $100,000 less to list your house. And this is where I feel you can. And I don't buy listings either. Like I'm hardcore of what I put down for data, but I also said it that it can shift. In a, you know, in a moment's notice, if they put another interest rate up or just what your competition is in your area.
Setting
So you set those
expectations.
expectations.
Yeah.
I always say what I say today is different than what I'm gonna say next month.
Yeah.
So if I go to a listing appointment, I say everything we just discussed, I could totally change what I'm gonna say
Yeah.
next month.
Yeah, right
Especially
here
for
and now.
us. It's
this
what it is
yeah.
today.
Okay.
Also really truthful and valid
Oh, yeah.
to what's going on.
And if a house is sitting for 3 months, it's like, okay, that was our strategy. It's not working. Here's where we're going,
Right.
Mhm.
you know?
What specific systems, tools, and technologies do you use to streamline and simplify the listing process to provide a seamless experience for your clients? Travis?
On each folder, maybe it's old school, I've got an Excel spreadsheet that I've made up of. Not an automatic reminder, but I do check in on it and I have it written out in, I don't know, 72 steps or something of. Hey, it's active, social media post, this post, follow up with that post, open house, this, make sure of this, make sure of that. Accepted offer, this, that, so it's tabs of. What do I need to do for social media? What do I need to do to submit paperwork, and what paperwork does that look like, whether it's a buyer or seller? And I've got it broken down and I staple it to my folder and check them off.
Checklist, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That, no, he's totally 100% right. Checklist.
I'm not organized. This is not a good question for me.
Would you like them to share the
Sure,
checklist? with you?
sure. I could use a couple extra
You're
checklists.
speaking my language.
Yeah, that one's a little bit not,
But
I don't have that honed in yet.
Well, I started with checklists when I was an assistant, so that's how I learned checklists. And of course, once you start it with those habits, you don't lose them. So it's probably only been when I relinquished it to have my own assistant, was that a year or so ago, that I had relinquished it to allow her to do it. And then once I didn't have her anymore, I just flew by the seat of my pants. But I've been doing it long enough now. I just know. I have an accepted offer. I don't leave my desk until I've written the trade sheet out, disperse what I need to, find out who the lawyer is going to be for both sides, send all my paperwork into command. Like it's very.
So do you have a
Very-
checklist here or
it's-
here?
It's here. I also have one, but I don't physically use it
Oh,
because it
okay,
is
yeah.
up there now.
That's
But
right.
definitely have a checklist for the first 4.5 years, maybe. Like, yeah, I think it's depending on how much business before it becomes very easily repetitive and you remember everything. Okay.
Don't you find command is good for that checklist? though?
Mhm.
Because
Yes, love.
everything is there.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds you. okay,
Yeah,
I gotta
and that
do
was
this.
pre-command when I had the checklist, right?
So what Travis does, everything in command in your opportunity. Each section in there,
Stages.
you can actually put stages in
Yeah.
there. Aaron has a great sheet. If you
Yeah.
guys want it, or you can utilize it and you can actually put it there yourself.
Yeah.
It'll give you,
We have a marketing package that we share with the seller and we try to follow it as close as we can. It's a little bit.
I'll add a plug. When we moved this year, I utilized Ella Rowell
Yeah.
for 3 or 4 of my transactions of just. I was so busy, just here's the paperwork, do it, handle it,
Yeah.
and she was great.
She's
There's
Been
my-
here
amazing.
Aided for many, many years, like lots of
Yeah,
experience.
you
She's
started to
fantastic.
use her.
She's
Yeah.
done 2 for me.
Yeah.
Very
to use
new,
her, didn't
you did,
You're welcome.
and Jason Abrams' class definitely pushed me to
Good.
start, but she's incredible, so
Yeah.
if you are like, I don't really want to invest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's per deal, so it's not that huge investment of hiring.
How much does she charge for the deal?
$70.
Oh, you're kidding.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
And she does everything,
Oh,
Oh,
like.
does she write up the offers for you? Like get the prep?
Asked that, no,
But-
I don't
okay.
know. I don't-
Okay, just after
I-
the fact,
she
she
would-
just does the whole deal
Yeah.
after.
The stuff-
Everything,
Yeah.
everything else, but
Yeah.
maybe she, I don't know.
But I mean,
I've
great,
done her right.
the great thing is was in this area and did real estate for 30 years. I don't know how long she's done. So she's not licensed here now because she can't be out west and be our facilitator here, but you've got someone that understands everything, whether, if there's questions to be asked, she'll know what to ask because she knows if there's septics and wells and all that kind of stuff, right? So she's got great knowledge too. Yeah. Yeah, she does.
Mhm.
it's good to know, though.
How do you determine the optimal listing price for a property, taking into account all the market trends and shifts that we have seen? I know this seems like a very basic question, but I think everybody that's up here has had different perspectives for all of the questions so far, Rich. So how do you determine? Because we've talked a little bit about it, but.
We should have. I just seen someone on social media the other day with her and her husband just speaking about. The time you look at the homes of, it should only be with the first week or two of their sales just gone to use those as your CMA. I don't know what areas they're talking about because I looked in an area yesterday. I did another one, a listing presentation. And it's in a mini home park. There's been no sales for the last 2-3 years. There was one expired. So what do? Do I pick the next trailer park over type of deal? You know what I mean? Like, and will that trailer park resonate with the one that I'm dealing with? Because they could be better, worse, same, it's hard to know. But yeah, it's kind of, you kind of gotta go with, recent sales, obviously. And if you have.
So what
lots
are
of
recent
data,
sales?
according to them, within.
No, not that, not that. You.
It could be, depending on my area, it could be anywhere from 3 months to 6 months.
Mhm.
I think anything that has happened anyways during COVID, those prices of what had built up the equity in the people that are looking to list their house. So they're there. What I also kind of looked at, what I've been stumbling across, and I don't use it, but I look at 2021's assessment value. it seems like when I do, in majority of the cases, when I do my CMA up, when I look back at what 2021 was assessed at and I doubled it, as long as there was no sales that happened. It almost works out. Weirdly enough, to where you would list to where they were assessed at, out of cap, not under their cap. But that's just something I've stumbled on in looking at. It may not work for every area, but it's been working for different areas. But I still accumulate my data properly. I'm just saying, it's just one of those interesting things I've seen in the background. But yeah,
I go as far as anything over 60 days doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, I think it's gonna change now where there's gonna be maybe like. That has been what I have done when it's been as active as it's been. So this could change. This is what I say today is only today, but like,
yeah,
I always, like, if it's a busy area, 60 days is usually what
well,
I
yeah.
base it off of,
Me too.
because anything after that. You know, there's been an interest rate change since then, typically, you know, a lot of things, as we all know. have
Yeah,
changed in
shift.
60 days, so 60 days is kind of I'm gonna show stats and homes and it's different. In
Different
certain
areas,
areas,
it's areas, right?
definitely, I
Yeah.
would go back farther from.
Yeah, you have no
know,
choice
or-
in some cases.
Exactly, but typically I would just get 60 days of what's going on, because anything after that. You know, we see how. it changes, right?
Ebbs and flows. Jerry.
It depends on what you have to work with. You know, I'll go 4 months. And I'll use houses that have municipal water and some that don't, because you have to do that. Hardest part lately is finding competition to show them what they're competing with, because there's so little on the market. But usually if we do in the last 4 months with 4 actives similar to their house, not exactly what's. And then 4 sales in the same region, we take an average of each, and the price we build is between the average sold and the average on the market. Used to be when the market was really crazy, you were gonna go with the high number, but now that it's leveling up, you go somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's similar. So I do a search first based on 4-bedroom, 2-bath, whatever, to see what I can find first.
Yeah.
And then populate out from there to see what comes up. And I try and dial in to find out what has sold compared to, so we can come up with okay, 4-bedroom, 2-bath goes for this. This is what has sold. And it is tough, because if you don't have anything to compare to, not that you're taking a guess, but you need to expand your range. So it is a range.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah, it is for sure. Can you share some examples of cost-effective improvements or staging techniques that have resulted in a higher sale?
Declutter, repaint,
Prettier stuff.
Yeah.
no personal pictures, don't look like it's, grandma's house. I walked into one yesterday and it's like, and she's almost 80 and she's just like, yeah, I don't want to do anything. And I'm like, not even that pile of paper that's been there. She's, I don't think that's been there as long as 7 years. It's all her bills. I'm like, okay. But I have a daughter and she has another sister too. So between them, they're just gonna go in, they're gonna have to get it on the background to make it work.
Oh, I say get rid of it all,
Yeah, get rid of it all.
get rid of it all.
Make it
Anything
be-
personal, anything cluttery, anything. I stage a lot of them myself too, so that's my own cost way.
Makes it easier to sell.
And be careful with
It
that,
does.
get rid of it all. It's gonna take them 6 months to get rid of it all. Somebody else will probably sell it.
Yeah.
Fair,
Mhm.
yeah.
Point, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point, yeah.
Doesn't it ultimately become the decision of the client? Because you're having those conversations saying, if I have an opportunity to do this the way I would like to do it, then I would love for you to declutter, depersonalize. I'm gonna bring in a professional stager. We're gonna stage this. We're gonna get professional photography. If you don't feel that you can handle the feedback from the stager and actually do all the things, then we can do as much as we can do. We'll list it and hopefully we'll get the price that you want to achieve. But based on my expertise, I would say we'll get a higher value for it if we can do all the things that I'm recommending. If you're choosing not to, that's okay, but we need to lower our expectations of what you're gonna get on the market.
Well said. Yeah. Yeah, well said.
For me, if a stager isn't chosen, I do have 4 totes of staging material that I use. I'll combine that with the reason I do is because when we were selling, we had a stager come in and she said, this, so. Toss pillows, throws, I don't know, I'm not a designer, but whatever items there are to have around. So I carry these 4 totes around and go in, again, if someone chooses not to go with stager, a couple hours before photos. To have things all set up and arranged, so not saying everybody needs totes of staging stuff, but I do. Yeah,
So I have a question for everyone and everybody. I'm selling my parents' house. I have cleaned out the whole house, we're going down again Saturday, more stuff going. I am on the fence of whether to do paint and take all the ugly 80s border off. the walls.
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
But Dad says I just need it on the market right now.
Too bad.
It's gonna take me longer. to get
It's
it
dead.
ready.
He's the only one you can be tough with.
If you never remember where your parents' house is, it's rural, where it's very rural.
You need
very
anything you
country,
can do
far
though.
away.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of,
Like,
I'm
I
kind
don't
of
know.
inclined, the border, so here's an example, I took a
It's
very
just
young couple
borders
through a
everywhere.
property.
And it
Well,
needs
that's
to be
gonna, if
sold.
it's everywhere, that's gonna
It's
take a long
everywhere.
time.
Is it wallpaper border you're talking about?
Yes, it's
Oh, get it.
everywhere.
They probably owned it for so long that
Yeah.
if you don't change a thing and do nothing, they're gonna make.
Oh,
a
yeah.
year too.
Right. And Mom has to mention, she said she gets 100,000, she's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's tomorrow. I'm gonna make you think I'm your favorite daughter.
I do have a handyman coming that's gonna do like the outside trim, cause it's looking around the garage door and stuff and fixing the deck. But, I'm just at a point in the house where I'm like. I
What's the
don't know.
flooring like?
Carpet. It's hardwood down in the family room and then upstairs is vinyl and carpet. And of course, every room is carpet in a different color. carpet.
What's your
demographics? Well, it has a view of it has a water view and the property goes back almost to the water. So I've got, so we've got that.
Are these items in good condition? So does the border at least look good, or is it peeling? Like, does it look?
It looks all right, the sunroom, they built a sunroom on, it could be painted, so I'm, at the point of,
I know.
should I paint that sunroom? Cause that's a highlight, because they built on.
And
you have
paint the
wall
highlight. If you
windows.
don't think you can get through the whole thing, paint the highlight.
Yeah,
Or just give it declutter and a good clean,
Exactly,
I have a cleaner coming.
get it on.
yeah, at the end of the day,
Right.
they're your client, and if they don't want to go through that, then you need to listen to their.
Well, they
upfront
can't go
structure.
through it.
No,
No,
they can't.
but
It's you going
living
through it,
here.
yeah.
It's me that's been doing, like, I've done everything, but.
You don't.
do it.
So
You're
based,
Yeah, you are your
I am
client.
my own client here.
so based on this is gonna be a good one for the next question.
Okay.
Because it's, can you provide examples of successful marketing campaigns or strategies that have generated significant interest and inquiries for the listing? So if you're not able to do all of the painting and remove all the wallpaper and everything, like what have you found that has been able to generate through different
Price.
marketing price?
So we had one loaded with junk for 30 years.
Mm.
The one had died and the other one couldn't do anything, so. Remember that one, Fall River Village, we just did. First we went back 6 months after,
Prepare me to walk in the door.
we went back 6 months after we totally rid of everything and everything was still there. And finally the daughter said, get it done, just get it done.
Just get it on the market, yeah. So then you did a price,
Yeah.
price it according just to sell.
And we sold right away.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was the
Because
right
they probably
buyers that
found out there
it
was
was
stuff there
somebody
that was
else's
valuable.
treasure. Someone's
I
treasure.
had a massive yard sale 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
The people, but I had 3 people who want to see the house.
Travis.
So again, listing, I do. Again, neighborhood, leave pamphlets, leave flyers, let people know. Back to what's been successful though, so back to people showing up. I've done social media campaigns where it's generated a lot of questions around, I guess, the listing. And
And
others
have those been done through command?
through command, yeah, and others were a flop.
And what was the difference?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Chatted with Jessica, she's like, it's an anomaly or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have an answer, but I do.
I think it's no different than any other kind of type of prospect, just who's on the computer, who's butts in front of the screen at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
Who's gonna answer the door when you door knock? Like I've
Yeah.
done meta campaigns through Amanda, it's been like, still working with those people now. But then I've done some where it's crickets. It's like, it's kind of like.
Yeah.
You know, you knock on a door, you do a cold call, it's a hit or miss kind of thing, right? But I continuously for mine do Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
All those things, sometimes
do
they're hits,
videos.
sometimes they're misses,
But
but
continuous,
I
do it.
I always, every
Consistent.
listing for sure will have some type of targeted ad in it. For sure, for 2 days before and 4 days during.
Well, it's funny, I was actually just thinking about your 2 days on Instagram.
I think the
love
2 days before
I love
MLS
it.
and the
That's-
first 4
Yep.
days
Same now,
is
here's how I
like
see it.
Yep.
2 days,
so crucial.
coming to market.
So it is like a little kitschy, like my own brand to it, but I do think it's important for, and I know for some reason coming soon is a controversial thing, but to me, it's just gaining
Interest.
awareness, gaining interest, getting it ready to be presented. And I think 2 days before and 4 days are the most important time, any home, any price point, doesn't matter. My opinion.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Anything to add?
I do a lot of videos, like I keep them, push it to all of my social media. What's coming, what's on the market,
Mhm.
highlighting.
Which is interesting, because the next question is, what role does digital marketing, including social media, play in your overall listing strategy? Right? And
Huge.
so it's huge for you,
Not so much.
Nope.
not so much. So you would be more like with the sold and
Well, we
the
do Facebook ads,
connections
that sort of
and,
thing, you know.
yeah,
We do
yeah.
that to try and target markets, different price
Yeah.
point people. You say that, price point people?
Yeah.
Anyway. So we do that, but other than that, yeah, we just rely on what we've always done, yeah.
Mhm.
Just, get it.
and you have so much traction in the community,
Yeah.
right? And in HRF.
Well,
So it's, I think that you continue with that consistency. and You're just continuing to prove what
You're a
Yeah.
well-known name. Your brand has been around for, a long time, so it's trusted and.
everybody and everybody's cousin is a realtor now, so it's not this.
Yeah, but
Not
Yeah.
feeling.
you're successful. And you're known to be successful.
She's really taken over the prospect community. She lives there.
Yes.
Yeah,
So she gets a ton of this. She's very, very recognized there. She goes to everything. She
huge.
parties with everybody.
Yes, she
Um,
did.
But she gets, but
she's
you get,
integrated.
her name is out there now. It wasn't a couple years ago, but.
There's
she's
been a
really-
huge difference.
Oh, there's a huge gap for Alice.
So
Yes.
it's 2 or 3 signs going up prospect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she, and her big thing, she'll, we
So
as a
good.
team, we'll sponsor, a baseball team for her, we'll pay for her, we'll do her billboard, we'll do. Community events that she does it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just part of the team expense that
Yeah.
helps her continue to grow in that area.
And we do some easy things, like we sponsor this tree lighting, in Fall River,
Mhm.
gold sponsors for that, and the rink that they made. We contributed to that, and our big sign is up in the new arena, the two arenas, those things.
Yeah, so we sponsor
Yeah.
things in our area.
I sponsor a
Which is good.
under 13 hockey team or under 11 female. And then the under 13s came after me this year. So I said, well, I'm gonna split up my budget between the two of you because I know the under 11s are still gonna come calling. Well, that's something I've done for years now. I don't even know if it really has got me any business, but it's name recognition and I like to support.
I don't,
girls
I'm
and
really
athletes.
weary of being asked to sponsor something when the person that's asking has a different company's for sale sign on their lawn. We'll say no to those ones,
yeah.
but the nerve of somebody to call.
Yeah.
Well,
They don't
you're
care as
well-
long as they
you're
can get the
well-known
money,
in the
right?
community,
Sometimes
would
just
you
use-
sponsor my son's baseball team,
And that's
they've
it.
got a World Gate sign on their lawn. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your own agent.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to draw your line a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been sponsoring a girl on for her hockey jerseys for years. Just like, there's no appreciation. It's just like, I'm coming again. And
Yes.
so I did it up until, and I said last year I wasn't gonna do it with my brain, but I whipped out and still said yes. Just because I just don't find the gratitude is there. It's, you know what I mean? Like, they're not pushing me. They're just coming after me for that money. So last year I was like, could you at least give me a picture of her wearing it so I could at least say that I'm sponsoring her and what have you? Oh, yeah. Never did get it. suppose it's professional pictures. This year comes and she goes, hey, I got your picture, but it's that time of year. There's only one more year left after this. And I'm like, sorry, my budget's already been
Yeah.
taken because you are
Yeah.
not using me another year. I don't say that, but now I'm sponsoring a whole U15, their 50-50 board at Coal Harbor Place for their high-end team. Like I'm there in those people's faces. I have my banner. I'm, you know what I mean? Like it's got to get me something out of it, or what's the use of throwing my money away, right? You know, it's great to come from kindness, but it's also, I want to be able to
Yeah.
get.
Like
Has
I
to
was,
make sense,
I was
business
doing
sense.
2 elementary schools in my neighborhood, so Ian Forsyth and Michael Wallace for their spring fairs. I give them something for sponsor their bouncy castle. And then Ian Forsyth was kind of like acting like no big deal. So last year I thought, well, the heck with you. Michael Wallace, they fall over backwards, thanking me over and over and over. And I just, as long as you get some kind of appreciation, you're
Yeah.
right? When they say, well, you know, like almost like we could do without you. So Michael Wallace will call now for their gift room or whatever. They're very appreciative. My kids went to that school, so I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. That's where my money's going now, because the other guys were like, you know, well, it's like no big deal to them. And I'm thinking, well, it is out of my own pocket. It's not like it's Keller Williams giving you money, it's me. And I think a lot of people don't realize that it's from
Maybe.
us and not from the company.
Yeah.
Giving them something, you know.
So we have 5 minutes left. Does anyone either online or here in the room have any questions? Pick their brain, strategies, anything that you want to ask? It's been a good conversation.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm curious, just 'cause there's a varying level of experience here. How much of your guys' business is referrals now?
Good question.
90%.
Probably, I mean, I haven't, but yes, it's.
That's one.
Awesome.
It's a lot of hard
Uh,
work.
20%, 25% maybe.
Yeah, and a lot of ours is repeat from the years that we sold like 35 years ago for 100,000, they get 5 this year.
Happy.
I'm so glad you sold me that house, got me that house, look at me now.
Yeah, this is.
So I-
yeah.
But I guess it'd be probably 50% would be repeat and referral.
Oh, no, much higher.
Much higher.
How many new people do you deal with? Brand new people that you've never met?
Yeah.
Not so many.
No.
So it's really
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
It's distinctive,
Yeah.
be
I'm
consistent.
at 78%. My business.
You track it.
Yes, I do.
You're at
Oh,
78%.
I did it, yeah.
Yes.
No, I do. I know where every deal came from. Every single one.
I asked.
That
but I-
part I'm organized.
I was just gonna say. We need to check.
Oh, but for, once I get, and, those other things. No, it's fine. But no, 70% currently right now. But I want that as high as possible because I don't.
And I'm not.
When the
but 6
referrals,
years yet,
You
so.
really don't compete. Right,
What's that?
I said when
No,
the
I-
referrals, lots of times,
Yeah,
no,
well,
a repeat,
referrals usually don't.
Repeat, you won't have to
right,
compete. You
often.
shouldn't.
No, not the repeats,
And
but even the
referral.
business of like. The ones that I'm getting in the door and competing with other agents that are still referring me.
Yep.
From someone, I still count that, if I get that, it's still a referral, right? Like, so. Yeah, I not so much repeat yet, obviously, it's only been a bit, but it's
Okay,
still
fine.
referral, it's still people. Cause my line when I'm done, you know, thank you so much, it was awesome.
Appreciate it.
Go tell someone you had a great experience. That's the only thing I ask. Here's your amazing gift and I'll check on you in a couple months, but just tell one person they had a really good experience with Sam and then that's all I'm at.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And I get referrals from my hometown, so if you're not from Dartmouth, Halifax, whatever, I'm from Digby area.
Okay, right.
Well, I have a bunch of realtors in Digby and Annapolis that went to school with me, or I went to school with their parents. And they just consistently use me as a referral base. They are not with Keller Williams. They are with Exit, they're with Remax, but they go to me because I
Went to
grew up
school
with
with
Vicky.
you.
Yeah. And I know she's, you know, trustworthy. So they send all their people through to me because there's a lot of people that'll go to Digby and then go, you know, no, I want to live in Dartmouth, or my kids going to university in Dartmouth or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they'll refer them through to me. So if you're not from here, get to know who's the agent in your hometown.
Yeah.
Very
Work
good.
on your referral.
Which goes back to that consistency.
I don't even know if I've
the
had
touches
competition
he
this
has,
year.
they
Like, I don't
in front
know
of
if I've had a
them.
competition
Yeah.
or-
I've competed.
I had
Other
one
nights.
call
It's
and.
true.
If there, maybe one this year, like it just seems like here, can you come listen to house?
I've had that, that's lovely, but most of it's been,
Yeah, now next
and
year
they're
could be a
so
whole different
upfront,
thing.
like, we are interviewing a couple, we're gonna, so-and-so told us, so we're gonna add you in, but. We have 3 others that we're interviewing.
Have you ever gone back to the ones that you did not get?
I always
And ask.
ask, I always ask.
I figured you did. I was just wanting to.
Always. Most of
ask
them
the
won't tell you
question.
why, sometimes they'll just ghost you, and from this, I've learned that I should have some line or script of. If it doesn't work out in 60 days,
Yeah,
I'd be more than happy, I don't do that, and I should.
but you'll pick it up now, you'll do it.
But
Yeah.
I definitely will be like, hey, I wanna sharpen my skills going forward, can you tell me the reason I didn't get it?
Yeah.
Most of the time, they won't tell you, but I still
I
ask.
asked that the last time, because
So,
I
yeah,
thought I
We
had
get
a
questions
report,
online.
Yeah.
and he said, my friend told me that the Remax is the company now to go with. So he totally dumped me because he was just gonna pick a random Remax.
He trusted his friend. as well.
So we have one question online that I want to make sure we get to, because it is 2 o'clock and I want to respect everyone's time. What is your organic script to tell new people you're a realtor in social situations? 30 seconds, what's your script?
Is she
Fine.
asking?
If
that
I meet
she's
you at a
new-
social situation,
that she's a
what's
new
your
realtor?
script to tell me,
How do you
to
bring
tell
it up?
me that you're a realtor?
Yeah, you're at a party.
I'm a realtor. I'm just a realtor. That's what I do for a
Hi,
living.
my name's.
And then you
Mandy,
just
I'm a
leave it.
realtor.
Yeah, I just leave it, and if
Then
they
you
got
leave
any
it.
questions,
Okay,
then I do not, I mean, I live, breathe real estate, but I don't vomit it
Yeah.
unless they want it.
right,
Then I'll give them whatever degree of vomit they need.
perfect.
But I don't have any specific.
You don't want to clean it up, you just
No.
want them, okay, Travis?
If you're the person starting the conversation to ask them what they do, if it's someone new, automatically, what do you do?
Yeah.
So instead of, not that I don't tell people that I'm a realtor, but it's, okay, what do you do? So it's always back around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always back around.
And they're always gonna ask, what
That's
is
kind of the same thing. that-
Same thing?
Yeah.
If you really want to get aggressive, you start wearing your name tag, right? Then they-
Mm. And do you find people ask you about it?
Yeah, the lady at the liquor store, when I used to go to.
So baby.
The liquor store, every time I go in,
Sobeys
at,
liquor store.
in Fall River, oh, you're my non-Chinese favorite real estate agent. No shit, I know, it's really funny. So,
Oh, I'm, this is not one for me, I don't. Like, if someone asks me, 100%, but I don't vomit it.
No.
It's not my thing. I
I
actually
only
get
vomit once they
comfortable.
so
Started
do
it.
do you have a little script or little tag that you say?
Like, we're talking social situation.
Yeah. In a social situation, what's your organic, like just natural? If I said, so Sam, what do you do?
So you're invited to a potluck.
If I'm asked, I'm obviously saying I'm a realtor with Keller Williams, like realty, yeah, you know, but I don't.
Susan's not here anymore.
I-
When you actually say.
I'd say you better use me now. No, I am very delicate with that one.
Hmm.
I will push my face and my dog's face online and I will market myself like, you know, the branded candles, like all that stuff, but when it comes to that situation,
Mhm.
I think because if I'm on the other end, if I get a sniff that
Yeah,
someone's.
that it's a sales thing.
Oh, no, I can't. be a
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
I
I'm,
cannot.
No.
yeah, I'm with you on that.
But genuine, like usually if I'm in a social situation, someone already knows,
Yes.
and then they're already
Well,
talking. to me,
market.
"Oh, shoot,
And then
They
more
bring
for
it up,
people will
but
join
yeah.
in and
If
hear
they
it.
bring it up,
If they bring it up
It's
fair
different,
game,
yeah.
I'm not gonna be the one like,
And they're gonna ask you how the market is.
That's,
Yes.
yeah, top notch.
yes, that is
I
my
made
hair
the joke,
client.
that guy over there's a dentist, you want him to check your molars now?
Yeah,
Yeah, because sometimes you're at a party and you're drinking and you don't really wanna talk about the market.
Yeah. The degree of liquor in your body decides how much you're gonna talk.
oh, molars. Thank you guys so much. It was wonderful. It was great. Lots of great tidbits. If you want a checklist, there's 2 right here that I know they probably would not mind sharing. And yeah,
I love your checklist, actually.
Mhm,
Love your checklist.
Lists.
Give me a message.
yeah. Thank you guys so much.
I'm gonna do. So that podcast, they have to do an intake one for every one. Yes. Having email it.